It's okay. It's okay. I'm a friend. I won't hurt you. Come on. Hello, and welcome to the Recharge Magazine Video Diary. So, just to give you a brief kind of overview of what these video diary things are all about. Essentially, they're following me and Roxy, Recharge Media, as we try and make our own TV programmes. So that'll be stuff for the web, and it'll be stuff eventually, hopefully, for actual TV. So along the way, we'll be showing you the processes we're going through. We'll be showing you the mistakes we make, so that hopefully you can learn from them and not fall into the same traps. And also we'll be talking to some interesting people, people who already work in the TV and film industry, and getting a few bits of information from them to help us along the way. So hopefully they'll be quite enjoyable. If you're interested in making TV or video, then hopefully you'll find something useful for yourself in here. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Enjoy! Okay, so off to see David Quantick today. We're quite excited about that because he's obviously a big name comedy writer. He's written stuff like Brass Eye, Jam, Screen Wipe, so all the good stuff. And also, hopefully this is going to give us a bit of insight into the whole process of creating a TV show. He's had quite a lot of experience with that kind of thing. So we're going to ask him a few questions about that, really just to hopefully get a bit of information for ourselves. So we're just starting out on the ladder of creating TV shows and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get a few nuggets of information that will help us along our way. Anyway, if we do get some nuggets, obviously we'll be putting them on this video diary so that you can share in our nuggets. Excellent. Well, we'll catch up again afterwards. Okay, so just really for my benefit, really, I'd just like to know a bit about the process of submitting an idea to the powers that be, and then with an aim to getting it on TV. Because we're at the stage now where we've got a couple of ideas for TV programmes. We've been accepted on the e-commissioning bit on Channel 4 and BBC. So first of all, what would you say is some good qualities for a proposal? How would you go about pitching something to someone?
God, that's really hard because, I mean, television, I haven't had a lot done. I think I don't know, it's just really obvious things. Being fresh is good, being something that's not being done. But at the same time, looking at what's on telly, I mean, it's sad, but if you look at BBC 3 and BBC 4, there's a reason that there are only 7 different programmes, because that's what people in television think they like. So while you've got, Hotter Than My Daughter and Snog, Marry, Avoid, which are the same show with minimal twists, and why BBC 4 is largely archived documentaries with ships or comedians or music, is because there are certain styles that channels have. So that's one thing. The obvious thing, if you've got a documentary about X and BBC 4 make documentaries about Y, don't bother. So it's just find your market is one. Yeah, the other, I don't know.
And another thing I want to talk about is how much does who you know play a part in kind of getting an idea to the screen? Because presumably, in most things, if you know the right person, the right place, and you can personally meet up with them and give them your idea face to face, you're more in with a chance than otherwise. So I suppose the question is, in TV terms, how much your idea is judged on their merit and how much on the merits of the person, or how well the person's known who's giving the idea?
I think it's the same as anywhere else. I think if somebody said to me, let's go and buy a car together, then I would be more interested in why they wanted to do it than what the car was. I think you have levels of trust and levels of knowledge. When I used to buy music papers, if there was a review of a record, I wouldn't buy it just because the review said this is great, or I wouldn't not buy it because it was crap. but I would look at the name of the person who'd written it, and depending on what they'd done, I would go and buy it. And I think that's the same with television. If I went to the BBC and say I want to make a nature documentary, they would go, what? But if I went to the BBC and said I want to make a show that combines music and comedy, they'd go, okay, well, he does that. So yeah, it helps. And also you get known. I mean, you know, you're on an e-commissioning list, you have a track record. They don't put you on it just for a bet. It is who you know, because, you know, it's recommendation, it's knowledge of people, it's the knowing part that's more important than the who in this case. It's building up levels of trust. And I would say that, as on that note, while obviously you can't hang around all day with David Attenborough or Jonathan Ross and hope they'll recommend you, it's good to have people at the next level, producers. Producers are brilliant because they're looking to make shows too. They have the same needs and desires as you. And they want to keep their jobs and make money and make shows. So they're always looking for work, and they're kind of a conduit to people who know them. So that work, I mean, that's certainly in radio. If I have a radio idea, I always go to a producer and say, would you like to make this with me? Generally they say no, but I know someone else who might, and you think, what's wrong with me? But that's my only real piece of advice, is meet people who don't do your job, but have similar interests.
Yeah. And I suppose, actually, I'm doing what you do. I imagine you probably get sent bits and pieces of, you know, it's probably music journalism and comedy. Do you get, like, given a lot of unsolicited stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a radio show called One sometimes, and people do send you stuff, because it's quite easy to be public on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, I've got writers from Facebook because people say, I'd like to send you some stuff, and you think, well, I should be nice because people were nice to me, and you read their scripts, and an awful lot of people are really good. And also you look really good commissioning new people. But I digress slightly, but yes, you do get unsolicited stuff. What you do is you get the offer. No one sends you a huge wad of stuff. People ask and say, do you think I might? So you've got the choice, and you've got the filter of email and stuff.
Yeah, and I suppose the bottom line on that is, what's kind of the worst way to approach it? What should people avoid if they want to approach someone they've never met before, they want to send some stuff and get it read? What should they avoid doing?
Well, they should avoid being too forward. You know, when I worked at the NME, a band called the Bare Naked Ladies, their PR person thought it would be great if the three of them turned up in the office unannounced and ran around the room singing their song into people's faces. It was so embarrassing that, you know, they were never really written about again, because it was just, God, it was so awful. You just have a degree of politeness and stuff. The real worst thing that nobody wants is a huge script in an envelope thrust into your hand. And that applies at all levels. If you've got an idea, generally people want to know, people say, tell me about it. And you say it's about a dog that's lonely, or it's about the history of steel. You go, okay, that sounds interesting. Or not. And then the next stage is synopsis, so you introduce it gradually. Or, a good thing to do, if you've made it, I really believe in making things, is have something that somebody can listen to or watch easily. When I was pitching one of my radio shows to TV, we gave the relevant comedy person the CD, because it's like, what's it like? It's like this. Solves so many problems.
So we've just gone and interviewed David Quantick.
He was a very nice man.
He was a very nice man. He bought us lunch, he took us down the beach, showed us a bit of his hometown.
Yeah.
All very nice. Kind of mixed emotions really on the whole interview though. Roxy did very well. Filming's going to look really nice. I'm going to stake my reputation on it, such as it is. My questions though, I think two things really. One, he's a bit of a comedy hero of mine, so maybe the nerves got to me. And also I think we might have over-prepared in that we knew in great detail what we wanted to ask him. And so that was all that was on my mind, what the next thing was I was going to ask. And I think my focus and my concentration weren't quite there. And to be honest, I just rambled and the questions just weren't coherent. And at one point I dried up completely after struggling with this question for ages. I just had to give up on it and stop the interview and redo it again. Yeah, hopefully it'll come out all right in the edit, because David gave some really good answers, really good information, as you'd expect, and he gave us personally some good stuff about the kind of way to approach sort of the commissioning process, because he's had a lot of experience in that kind of thing. So hopefully we can take some of that information and apply it. But yeah, all in all, good. check out the interview because I'm sure it's going to look good in the edit. Yeah, so we'll go a bit more into detail about the type of information he gave us for developing our own TV show ideas. So now basically we need to read the commissioning guidelines and see what they want. As far as I can see, I haven't read them in great amount of detail, but it mainly seems to be about the name. That's what they go on about at the top of all the list of guidelines.
Is that just for documentaries or?
Well, I only looked at documentaries because that's obviously what we're doing. Just because we haven't done it before, do the e-commissioning thing, do the proposal as best as we can, see what sort of response we get, because what they say is don't include clips or don't link us to anything.
Yeah.
First off, they specifically say that. So if we just do the proposal, and then if they say if they come back with any further interest, then go and film some footage.
So are you saying if they're not interested, don't try and do a documentary, even if we're going to use it as a sort of show reel, as it were?
Yeah, I think we should still do it, but I'm still about just for their process, I would say.
Well, what if they're just saying it's interesting but not at this time, just because that's the nice way of saying no to everybody? And then we go hire a camera, spend all that money, and it's still a no, but they're just being nice and just not going no, because I doubt they'll just send an email back going no. They'll probably give you some advice of how you can work
well, what did
it
David
round.
Quantick say? David Quantick said something about the most common rejection letter he gets is blah 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 is
it's good, but it's not the one.
But it doesn't fit in with what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, so, and we would take that as in, okay, well, we can make it fit in.
From where we're at the moment, we'll do the proposal for Channel 4 and BBC e-commissioning.
Uh-huh.
We'll go and find some more people, talk to some more people, TV producers.
Someone who's made a documentary.
Documentary. John Pilger would be good, but he's a bit more kind of serious than we'd want to do it. But other people who've made documentaries. So proposal first, go and interview some more people, and then we'll sort of see where we are at that point.
Yeah, when they send back the answer.
Good. I'm going for a wee.
Oh, good.
Okay, so that was the first ever video diary from us at Recharge Magazine. Hopefully you found it enjoyable and maybe even useful in some way. We'll be back doing another one of these next issue of Recharge Magazine, so that'll be a couple of months' time. Hopefully by then we'll have learned some new things, tried out some new stuff, and hopefully met some more interesting people. So we'll be bringing all of that to you. Thank you very much.
It's the biggest pile of shit.
Alright.